YouTube faithful, what is going on? It is Thursday, opening day. We got 2-game poverty NBA slate. I'm sure they scheduled it this way knowing that baseball is starting today. They didn't want to step on anybody's toes, so to speak, but the fact is, PrizePicks is blessing people with protected plays. Protect the plate because they want you D-gens to bet some coin. Personally, I thought we was going to get some hot dogs today, but PrizePicks learned Captain Crush today. They said, no, bang, we're giving you a protected play for MLB only. So what would I be if I didn't come on here and discuss some MLB? I'm going to give a few things on MLB. When NBA finishes, I will cover MLB and WNBA all summer long. So those of you that are new to the channel and you just recently joined, you haven't been following Captain Crush for a while, you've been out of the mix, living under a rock, whatever have you, don't fear. The train never stops, buddy. We keep this thing rolling all year long, fella. That's just how I roll, baby. Literally. So without further ado, let's break down the NBA slate today, shall we? Remember, 2 games and they ain't good. We got the Celtics versus the Hawks, a rematch of a couple days ago, a jabroni-esque type spread. 16.5 points. You hate to see it. The Hawks are at home. Maybe they make a run. Maybe they don't. The Celtics are getting healthy. In fact, I think the Celtics win it all. I think they win it all. I think they win the East. I think they win the West. I think they bring it home finally if they click on all cylinders. I think they're the team to beat, and I don't think anyone can beat them in 7 games personally as of now. My opinion may change, but we'll get into that. The Bucks versus the Pelicans, 1.5 point spread. This could be a good one. Old Pellies at home. What's it gonna be? This might be a good game. It looks like it could be a good game, but you never know in today's NBA. Now, I warned everybody yesterday was gonna be a dumpster fire, but you better believe I came on here on the tube and cooked a banger. I'm pretty sure the only proposition that I gave on the tube that missed was Daddy Zubac because he couldn't get his fantasy score. He sold in the 4th quarter. It is what it is. But we will get into that as well. So let's go back to the slate, fellas. Who am I going to be targeting today the most? Well, remember now, the Celtics are getting healthy. Holiday's back into the fold. We got to consider that. Jaylen Brown's in the mix. Tatum's in the mix. Zinger's in the mix. They're all in the mix. Any one of these guys can go off on any given night. That's what makes the Celtics so freaking powerful. It could be Brown. It could be Tatum. It could be a splash of Zinger. Bang. But we never know. They all could go off. It could happen. Just like the Suns last night. Booker did good. Durant did good. Beal did good. Grayson Allen hit his points. You just never know. So, personally, I was on Jaylen Brown's PRA, full game PRA at 30.5. They bumped it to 31.5. So then I had to pivot. I had to switch gears. And I'm going to old reliable, like the SpongeBob meme. Old reliable Derek White. Why Derek White? Fast-paced matchup. He normally respects coin. He hustles. He plays with a lot of heart. So for that reason, I'm going to take my shot on Derek White's PRA. But lo and behold, they bumped Jaylen Brown back to 30.5 PRA. It was at 31. It's opened at 30, went to 31. Now it's back to 30. So you can go with Jaylen Brown if you'd like as well. I like it too. Either one of these two are going to be in the mix. I'll probably have split exposure. If you want to take Derek White, let me see what they got his fantasy score. But 33, if you want to go there, the reason it's so much higher than his PRA is because the man has block and steal upside. He has block and steal equity. 3 points a pop. So you could go there if you'd like. I'm probably going to keep it simple. My exposure on everything, MLB, NBA, it's all going to be limited today. Why? Because I'm going golfing. It's finally nice. It ain't windy. It ain't wet. It's sunny. I'm going out there. I'm going to be smashing balls. Pause. Okay, we're talking about golf. We're good here. So let's keep it rolling. Talked about White. Talked about Jaylen Brown. If you're scared of the blowout, you could go to Jaylen Brown's first half. But I'm telling you right now, at 11.5, it was at 13 with a fully healthy squad. It's going to be a sweat. Kevin, because you always say it's going to be a sweat. Because it is. When is it not a sweat, fella? Siakam yesterday, less 8.5 rebounds. He had 4 in the first quarter. Everybody was pre-chalking him. Bang, cash the under. It held. But this is going to be a sweat. Just because it's Jaylen Brown and he's been hitting, it doesn't mean anything. It's still going to be a sweat, I promise you. But I will have exposure to it because I don't care. I live for that sweat, buddy. I own that sweat. So is there anything we can do with dunk props yesterday? By the way, I said it. I knew it. I felt it. Banchero and Allen yesterday, I I just had that feeling that they were going to sell and going to go under. I couldn't pull the trigger either way. I did tell you guys, if you Uno reverse me, you get a free month of the Discord. The first person to claim it, bang, he cashed in. He sent me the email with the Uno reverse slip. It hit. I gave him his free month. I'm a man of my word. Congratulations to you, fella. I knew it was coming. I just had that feeling. But what can we do today with the dunks? Well, I kind of like Clint over 1.5. And this is old reliable for the dunks. I think if you're going to take any of them, Giannis would be old reliable. He does get 4 to 5 dunks pretty often. Why? Because he drives into the lane uncontested. Nobody's going up to contest Giannis when he's driving through in the paint. He's too big. His arms, they're extra big, baby. They're extra big. Just like Captain Crush's, these arms, they're extra big. So he can go in there and bang, throw it down on somebody. Throwing it down. So I will take a shot because it's a 1.5 point spread. And I got to have some exposure to the dunks. I'm the dunk king. I'm the dunk king, baby. So either one of these would be fine. But again, it's one slip max. You already know the deal with the dunks. It's a lottery ticket. We're doing it just for fun. There's no edge. We just like to have a good time. We like to tell jokes. We like to have a good time. We like to win coin. We like to make fun of Joel Embiid, the resident Discord mascot, who's play of the day. Mike Trout hit a home run. You love to see it. Nah, I'm not going to lie to you. You hate to see it because Joel Embiid's starting to get a little bit too high of an ego, man. Joel Embiid, don't forget your role. I'm pretty sure your role is poverty. Don't forget now. Just kidding, buddy. So you know what else I'm going to go do since we got this poverty slate? I'm going to go to Damian Lillard less 5.5 free throws. This used to be at 7. Then they moved it down to 6.5. Then they moved it down to 6. Then they moved it down to 5 last game, and he covered in the last minute. I'm pretty sure he covered in overtime. I forget. I think it was overtime. He got fouled shooting a 3. Bang! He dropped 3 and covered. I'm going right back to the well. Less 5.5 free throws made. I don't care. If he sells, he sells. It's a wagon. I'm taking it. He doesn't get to the line often enough with Giannis in the mix. I will be taking it. Hopefully it holds. If it doesn't, what are you going to do? It's the right play, in my humble opinion. So there you go. You got your 1v1s with Brown, White, and Lillard under. You could take a splash on Giannis's dunks. Now we could go to the fantasy score, and the hobo incarnate, he ain't in the mix. It's always a good day when you don't have to sweat the hobo incarnate Brandon Ingram. He's got some type of bone bruise, and he's having a seat. So you can't sell us today, buddy. So what are we going to do? Well, we know guards historically do well versus the Bucks, right? Can we go to our boy CJ McCollum, who backdoor covered everything last game? You absolutely can. I think his fantasy scores in the mix. I think his PRA's in the mix. I think it's all in the mix, to tell you the truth. You might even be able to take a gamble on his points. That's probably the least of one I like. He does get some blocks and steals every now and again, which gives him some fantasy upside. Either one of these would be playable. Not going to go into a deep analytical dive on CJ McCollum or anybody today. I'm just giving you my 2 cents today, and that'll have to be enough because, again, Captain Crush is going to the golf course, baby. You can't stop me. You can't stop me. I'm going. Nothing you can do about it. So we talked about CJ. He's in the mix. You can go take a shot on the wannabe LeBron James from way back in the day, Zion Williamson. He's been somewhat of a wagon. He does have 55-point upside, as you can see. But again, the game's going to have to stay close. Maybe he wants to show down. Maybe he wants to show out. I think it's something to consider. I think his fantasy score, but he does get plenty of turnovers. If they put a turnover prop up here at Zion for 2.5 or 3, you got to take it, fella. It's that simple. But his fantasy score has some upside. His R plus A, man, it was at 13 earlier. Now they bumped it up. This still has some upside. His rebounds, if you can find it at 6.5 on Sleeper or something, all that's in the mix. Maybe even his points at 25.5 could be considered. I really think Zion and McCollum are going to have big games for this game to continue with that 1.5 point spread that we see. Remember, those spreads, they're not always gospel. Sometimes they go the total opposite way. It's just a guide for us. You understand what I'm saying? And then lastly, I think you have to take under on DeJounte Murray. I never tell people to take less on DeJounte Murray, but his points plus assist or his PRA, I think unders on both of them. They did bump it. I got it earlier locked in at 33.5. Either one of these is fine. I know the last 5 he's been cooking, but Holiday's back in the mix. Hopefully he shuts him down. If he doesn't, he doesn't, but it's going to be a sweat, maybe even less on his fantasy score or something, to tell you the truth. He is on a back-to-back too, and it's going to be a tough matchup. So that is my thoughts on those gentlemen there. All right, so that's it with basketball. Now let's talk about MLB for a second, baby. It's opening day, baby. It's opening day. Now let me tell you something really quick now. It's going to be a dumpster fire until we get more data points. I'm telling you right now, the MLB is all day long. There's early slate, mid slate, full game slate, and late night slate. So for those of you who don't bet MLB, you're going to want something to do over the summer. Make sure you tune in to Captain Crush. There's promos on Sleeper right now. PrizePicks is giving promos. They're going to be everywhere. This is just what these sites do. Unfortunately, the plays that I liked are about to tee off. Literally, they're doing the countdown in real time. So I don't really think that I'll be able to give too much here because the plays that I did take, it's about to tee off by the time this video gets out. I will give you some terminology real quick. So for the future, when you hear me say Ks, that's strikeouts. When you see ER, that's earned runs allowed. Hits, runs, RBIs is a batter hitting, getting a run, or a run brought in, okay? And here's the deal. When you take bets on underdog or something like that, and it says you're betting for the player to get a single, if you take single and he hits a double, you don't cash. He has to hit a single. Same thing with the other way around. If you put it to get a double and he hits a triple, it doesn't count. You're betting on those specifics. A lot of people don't realize that, and then they get upset. Same thing with total bases. If he gets walked, they're not going to count it. All right? Hits allowed is how many hits the pitcher gives up, and then walks allowed is how many times they get walked. The pitcher walks the batter, which is pretty much self-explanatory. And I'm going to go right here to Nathan Eovaldi. 1.5 walks. Take more. I can give you that because it starts at 635. I think it's in the mix. I'm trying to see if there's any pitcher strikeouts here. My Pirates are playing the Marlins today, and I'm telling you, the Pirates, we're underdogs. We're always underdogs. In fact, I'm burying the lead. I got to have my Pirates hat on. What am I doing? My lucky Pirates hat. We're beating these Marlins in their home turf. It's hitting. So I kind of want to take under. Where is he at? Where is his pitcher fantasy score, fella? Where is it at? Oh, it must have just started. It did. The Pirates game has just started, so I'll have to get off here and go tune in and watch my Pirates wreak havoc on these Marlins deep down in the south of Miami. But Zach Gallen, the Colorado Rockies, fella, this used to be a wagon. You take pitchers versus the Rockies. I think you could take a shot on his fantasy score versus the Rocks. Let me see what his K-line is. 6 Ks? Yeah, it's going to be tough, but I think it's in the mix. That's probably better than his fantasy score. They do count things like quality starts, etc. for the fantasy score, but I'll probably just take a shot on his strikeouts. Don't worry about the last 5, especially in baseball. Who cares? It doesn't mean anything. And on top of that, one thing else I'll say is that 0.5 hooks in baseball are surgical, baby. All these things matter. Like 4.5 to 5.5 strikeouts, that is huge. 4.5 to 5 is huge. Push equity is very important across the board, but especially in baseball. So make sure that you understand that. Again, I will cover baseball for you folks all season long. Don't worry. And women's NBA, so you'll still get your degeneracy during the summer. Captain Crush has got your back. Now, in my Dub Club /Discord, I release MLB projections just like I do NBA. So I'll give you a projection sheet for how many strikeouts I think they're going to get, how many hits allowed, how many earned runs, etc. You'll get all that just like for NBA. Yesterday was a mixed bag. My YouTube video Slate, it was pretty good. Here it was right here. Chandler posted it. Siakam under, cash. Hallie under fantasy plus assists, cash. Jalen over 9.5 RA, cash. DeRozan over points, cash. Rashawn Holmes was a reboot, thank God. Yesterday we got seriously unlucky with Wendell Carter Jr. He only played 19 minutes, folks. 19 minutes. He had 6 rebounds at half. We took him 6.5 over. He didn't get a single rebound all second half because he only played 5 minutes. Cam Thomas assists cash. Kelly Olynyk turnovers cashed. Pools rebounds cashed. A lot of stuff cashed yesterday, fellas. A lot of it cashed. And the hard truth, the sad reality of everything is this. Captain Crush made a crucial mistake when I was doing that live stream the other day. I accidentally triggered my free entry. So all of a sudden, Captain Crush had a $500 slip to win $12,500 with the worst of the worst. I had Paul George over half a block. It cashed, luckily. I had McBride over 2.5 threes. That soared, luckily. And then I had Nurkic first half PRA who got DNP'd, and then I had Franz Wagner over 26.5 PRA. He completely shot terrible and sold it all. Barely even played. 30 minutes that ain't it, Chief. I need 35. And then I had Corey Kispert, who shot 2 for 8 from 3, over 2.5 threes. He went into overtime. He had all the chances to cash me. He didn't. I could have turned $500 free entry mistake into 4 of 5 because France sold. I also had Kelly Olynyk, 2.5 turnovers, which cashed. So I got hooked out of the double up. At least I got 3 of 5, which gave me 200 back. It wasn't intentional. I really didn't want to take that, but it is what it is. But the YouTube faithful, if you watched yesterday, I hooked you guys up. They're showing the slips. DeMar, Hallie, Jalen over, Siakam less. It was a good day. Have no fear. Captain Crush was 100% here, baby. And Victor Wembanyama, 3.5 turnovers. It hit. Little Brody, Shark Slayer, he tailed Captain Crush. Kelly Olynyk, 3 turnovers. Poole, 2.5 turnovers. Cash. George, half a block. Cash it. McBride, over 2.5 3-pointers. Bang. Cash it all. Miss me with your tears, fella, because at the end of the day, I'm still doing the Lord's work. Even when you think it was a bad day, I didn't even bother posting my slips because I was busy last night, but I was able to cash some slips. Overall, it could have been better. My day with that 6-man cash free entry, that threw me for a loop. I knew it was going to be poverty, but it wasn't all bad, people. Just because you had a bad day doesn't mean it was a bad day overall. You can see, go back and watch yesterday's YouTube and tell me that you couldn't hit a 10x slip right there. At least double up because Zubac sold, but I literally cooked it live. So how do you get in the mix where I post my projections and everything, which come like this as PDF files? Bang, they're right there. NBA's coming soon. You go to CaptainCrush.net, you go down to the gold package, you click buy now, that'll get you in the mix. The silver gets you my plays, the gold gets you my Discord projection sheets and everything else. 1 month, 6 month, 1 year, whatever have you. 6 months will take you all the way up to NFL and NBA season, and then you can renew then too as well. Do whatever you want. Captain Crush doesn't care. Get in the mix. If you use any of my partners, the link's in the description. You will get a free 30 days, which I'm caught up with all of those, so all you guys have been taken care of. And I do live streams Monday through Friday at 5 Central. But honestly, since there's only 2 games today, I will not be doing a live stream today. When I get back from the course, I may do a live stream for an MLB live cook for the late night MLB hammers, baby. We might get it done. So I will leave you with this. A quick little recap. You got Derek White to consider, Jaylen Brown to consider. McCollum, he's already been bumped. He was at 35.5 at the start of this video. They're going to keep doing it. I'm telling you, I'm surgical now, fellas. I'm surgical, baby. You've been living under a rock?
So I'm only going to say this once. Acknowledge me.
Acknowledge me. I'm surgical. And if you think Bruno Mars, I'm just kidding. We're not taking Bruno Fernando or Bruno Mars today. That ain't hitting cheap. But remember, the hobo incarnate's out of the mix. So it's Derek White, it's McCollum, it's Brown, it's Dion. Those are your 4 targets. It's less on Murray. I bid you adieu. I hope you have a great day. Wish Captain Crush some birdies on the course and fade the bogues. I'm begging you to give me some prayers. I will see you tomorrow for Flex Friday where we cash in those welfare tickets. Know your roles. Smash the like button. And as always, here's the salute. My Pirates are about to smash them, baby. They're going to smash them. Good luck in all your contests. And as always, my brothers and sisters in Christ, let's crush it up.